Hey everybody, it's G-Man right here, and today we're doing a sports game tier list. I am very familiar with sports games, to put it short, because I have a lot of old video games that my dad had for like the NES and a couple of ones from like the arcades and stuff like that. So yeah. So anyways, let's get started. Pong. This is a very big game, really. I don't. What am I supposed to say about Pong, of all things? You hit the ball into the other guy's side, I guess. It's nothing really. It's just see the control with knobs. Yeah. Uh oh. This is the Atari 2600. Is a lineup of mid to terrible games for the Atari 2600 that really aren't good. And there's also one that I have for the Atari 7800. Keep in mind, most of these are played on the Atari My Arcade that I have, so yeah. Boxing C and bowling C. These are two sports that I'm okay fond of. These were actually made by Activision and not Atari, so they're not as bad, but they're still kind of bad. And then D. I could go specifying to this. It's really hard to time the baseball bat, and he's swinging unreasonably slow. D. This is the only remotely good one. Let's see. Alright, now here's the NES era. It's kind of short, but yeah. Baseball. This is not really too notable. It's an okay game. It's nothing really to say about. Football, this game is for, I think you press B to tackle, and then you move around with the D-pad. This is a C or B tier game. I'd say it's a C tier game. This is Tecmo Bowl B tier. This is the, in my opinion, the best football game for the NES. It's a very solid game. And it is really good, and I recommend it. Alright, so here's NBA Jam. This is a in case you don't know anything about this, this is an arcade title that was released around the 90s, where you select a team and you get two players from that team, and then there's a 2v2 against your team and another random team. It's a very solid game with some really detailed graphics, and it's one of the best basketball games really ever made. Here's Golden Tee. This is a 1989 golf game with really bad graphics. Back then, it was like really bad, until like the modern ones, where they said, maybe we shouldn't go with 8-bit for a golf game. I actually have the 1-Up arcade for this, and it literally is, how do I describe this? It's like pretty much the only thing different from like Golden Tee Classic and Golden Tee 99 is the courses, and then the graphics get like upgraded in like the 2000s and stuff. But all I need to say is that the stick, like the handle of the club, is literally 1 pixel long. So it's B tier though. That British guy who's the announcer really pissing me off though. Get the chainsaw, get the duct tape. Ooh, Mario's Tennis. This is for the Virtual Boy. This is the only game I own for my Virtual Boy. Believe it or not, I actually own a Virtual Boy. That is impressive. But essentially, this is you're playing as one of the characters from Super Mario Kart. I think it's the same roster as Super Mario Kart, and your goal is to just it's just tennis, and but if it's in like VR, I guess, I don't know. It's B tier. You just click the button to hit it, and Knockout Kings 2000. This game makes no sense. I don't know how to play this. Yeah, that one is just too confusing for me, so anyways, here's the final stretch. Wii Sports. This is quite literally one of the best sports games ever made. Ever made. And that's because instead of using like instead of using buttons and joysticks, trackballs, knobs, whatever, you actually use the controller, and it is literally perfect. There's 5 games you could select from. There's boxing, bowling, golf, tennis, and baseball. And it is really good. And it is quite literally probably one of, if not the best sports game of all time. Now here's a sequel, Wii Sports Resort. It has 12 games. Now the only reason that I consider these 2 equals is because they removed the 2 best ones, boxing and baseball. But it's still a really solid one. I'd recommend to try, and it's Nintendo Switch Sports. I know everybody likes to clown on this for removing the Mii's and stuff like that. Like, I get that, but, I mean, still, it's solid enough. I guess. Retro Bowl. Ooh, kids really like to play this in class with me. They really like to play this in class, and I can understand it. I have the app. It's a solid enough game, and I'd probably put it in, like, A. Madden. Oh, this is... I'm going to group this with college football because it's pretty similar, but just different characters. So I'm grouping them together, and it's a really solid. It's really solid, and I'd really recommend trying either one of the newer games or the earlier games. I have one for PS1, and I played the PS5, and I played Madden. I played college football 25, and I've also played the most I've also played one of them that was from the 2010s. It's a pretty solid series. It's really fun. As long as you get the hang of it, you're good. Now, for the quite literally probably one of the worst sports games ever made. The name is 2K25. Or 2K, just 2K in general. NBA 2K. This is an F tier game. This is quite literally probably one of the worst sports games of all time. There's no reason to play this, and you might as well just play NBA Jam or even real sports basketball, because at least those are like playable, and you know the shoot button. This, you barely can even shoot. Like, it took me and my dad a long time to figure out what the shoot button was. Shoot button. You have to pull back the right joystick. Why does that make sense? Why can't there just be like a button? A button. You can't even play defense. And it's just no. It's just a no. No. And yeah. Well, anyways, this is my sports games tier list. If you want a part 2, then I'll be happy enough to make that, and I can make that happen with you guys. And thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my other videos. They're kind of different from this, but this is me just trying to try something new. So have a great day and subscribe.